Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title, you have just finished your brand new PC. You obviously have installed Windows, the drivers, and installed all your applications and favorite games, and you are ready to go and use your PC normally. But believe it or not, there are some other things you may consider when you build your new PC, because especially with Ryzen CPUs and obviously the corresponding motherboards for the Ryzens, and especially with the DDR4 memory in any system, not only AMD Ryzen or something else. For the DDR4 memory, this is a trick that you need to know, obviously if you don't, before going any further, so you take full advantage of your newly built system. Okay then, before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also turn on notifications so you never miss one of my new videos, and don't forget to leave a like if you find this helpful, because it will help me very much and I will very much appreciate that. Now, for the things that you need to look out when you do your first build or a new build, especially again with Ryzen and DDR4 memory, is the voltage. So usually it may happen that the stock voltage for the Ryzen memory is going to be very high. In my case, I have a 3600 Ryzen 5 processor, and my stock voltage is at 1.45 volts, which, if you know a little bit about PC components, you know that a CPU running at 1.456 volt, it's very high, at least at stock voltage, because obviously it fluctuates up and down depending on the boost and on the core clock that you have set, but definitely the base clock should not be at 1.456 volts or near that. So we definitely need to change that. For example, if we go to to the sensor, you can see that the core voltage is almost all the time at 1.45. It fluctuates, obviously it goes a little bit higher, a little bit lower, because it depends on the loads of the core that when they are boosting. But anyway, the stock voltage, I know that is at 1.4 volts. So if this is the case for your motherboard and your CPU, definitely we need to change that. Obviously I'm going to show you how you can do that later into the BIOS. So this is the first thing. And the second thing you need to look at when you build your new PC, especially with DDR4 memory, is the speed of the DDR4 memory, because we can easily say that most of the memory nowadays, the DDR4 memory, they have an XMP profile, which basically, to put it in a simple way, it's a stock overclocking that the manufacturers have done for their memory. In my example, I have memory that can run at 3000 megahertz, as you can see in here, both of them. But if you see at the stock speeds, it's set at 2666, so 2666 megahertz. So basically I'm running almost 400 megahertz slower than the speed that my memory can run. So definitely we need to change that, because again, we need to take advantage of the speed that your memory can run. Again, almost all DDR4 memory nowadays, they have XMP profiles, and the XMP profiles are not set by default when you build your new PC, but you have to go into BIOS and set the XMP profile that you want. Maybe, just maybe, some motherboards and DDR memories, they do this automatically, but I don't think so. So keep this in mind. So basically, these are the two things that we need to change when we are building a new PC. If you are running into these kind of problems, or let's say not problems, let's call them stock issues with the motherboards and RAM, so we need to fix them. Now unfortunately I have to film my screen and talk through my phone, so obviously the audio quality and the video is going to be a little bit worse, but yeah, I can't help it for I can't help it with this, so you have to bear with me, guys. Right then, let's jump into the BIOS, and I'm going to show you how you can change these things. Okay, guys, so now we are into the BIOS, all on stock settings, default settings, and as you can see, right from the first page, the main page, you can see that the memory, as I told you, is at the DDR4 2666 megahertz, when my memory can do 3000 megahertz. So to change the things that we talked about earlier, it's very easy. It depends obviously on the motherboard, but usually you should go to the overclocking settings, or overclock tweeter in my case, or you should have these settings on the advanced tab. So it depends on the CPU and motherboard which you are using, but usually overclocking or advanced settings, and it's pretty much very easy to do. So if you use my board on ASRock board, you may have the same experience. So for the core voltage, we have two ways, at least in my case, I have two ways to change the voltage of the CPU. If we go to the hardware monitor again, you can see that the CPU temperature is at 53C without doing anything, just sitting in BIOS, and you can see that the voltage is at the plus 1.456 volt. This is the stock voltage. Again, this is going to fluctuate depending on what the CPU is doing, but the stock voltage is still too high, 1.456. So we definitely need to change that. As you can see from the temperature, without doing nothing, we are sitting at 53C. And to do that, we go to overclocking. This is the first way. Basically, you go to CPU frequency and voltage change, and from auto we do this, we change this to manual. After we change this to manual, we're not going to play with the frequency because we're not overclocking. We just want to lower the stock voltage so we can save a little bit of power, and obviously save the CPU itself, because with a lower stock voltage, obviously is going to run cooler and is going to run a bit better on its lifespan. And as you can see, the default voltage, it says 1.1. so this CPU can run at stock speeds with 1.1 volt, but I'm going to set mine to 1.2 volt because I intend 1.25 because I intend to do a little bit of overclocking, but not today. I will do it later. So you can set it to 1.1, and then if the system is not stable, then you can increase it a little by a little. So basically in my case, I just set 1.25 and all is done. I don't have to change anything else in here. That's the voltage for the CPU. Now for the second way which we can change the voltage of the CPU, in my case, in this particular motherboard, is the one that follows. So let's just take this to auto as it was, is on the advanced tab. Then we go here, we have a particular AMD overclocking section. Obviously we accept, and in here you have the CPU voltage. Now the difference here is that the voltage, as you can read in here, it's specified in millivolts, which means that here I cannot do it 1.25, but I have to do it 1250 megahertz, 50 millivolts, sorry, which means 1250 millivolts is the equivalent of 1.25 volts. So basically you know these things. So let's just set this one, hit enter, and we are all done. Then we go back to overclock and tweaking to change the memory. Now in my case, in this particular board with this memory, I have different things in here. You can see low DRAM profile, which is a preloaded XMP profile that this board has for Corsair Vengeance LPX memory, 32 gigs. If you own one of these memories, you can use this tab, but in my case no, because I don't own that memory. The other one is going to be the XMP settings, which is my XMP settings. As you see in here, my RAM is capable of XMP DDR4 2666 and DDR4 3000, which I'm going to use. And obviously, if you want to overclock your memory, you can go to the next one, DRAM frequency, or you can leave this to auto and set the DRAM frequency in here. But you have to keep in mind that doing this way, you are not going to change the voltages of your RAM, and your RAM sometimes need a little bit more voltage to get higher frequencies. So that's why when you go to XMP profile, you can see that this profile has 3000 megahertz at 1.35 volts. When in 2666 it's at 1.2 volt. So you better choose the XMP profile, because anyway it's official, so you better use that one because it's supported by the manufacturer itself. So that's it for the memory. Now we just have to save the change. We don't need to change anything else. We just go ahead, save the changes, hit exit, and now we wait on reload. Okay, back into the BIOS, sorry, and now you can see that the memory is at 3000 megahertz. Obviously, all the settings that we have changed are saved. So let's go to the monitor. Okay, so now you can see the voltage is at 1.25, and see the temperatures. Now we are almost 10 degrees. 10 degrees cooler than that we were before. So definitely this works, and definitely you should do it. And if we put the CPU voltage to 1.1, it will go even lower than 44C at stock speeds, obviously without changing anything else. So you can use your PC cooler, you can use your PC with less power consumption, and obviously span the life of your CPU memory and so on. So yeah, there you have it, guys. With these two simple changes, now you have a better new PC that you have built with faster memory, with cooler CPU, and obviously with less power consumption. So hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have any question, or if you want to know more, if you are having problems with your particular board and particular CPU, let me know on the comment section. I will try to help you guys and guide you through the process, but it's very easy to do with this simple. You just have to read what you are changing, the things that I just told you about. And if you are having in some kind of way instability, especially if you want to overclock, because if you overclock, you definitely will going to need some more power, so you have to keep that in mind. This is just a trick to use your stock PC as cooler as possible, as efficient as possible, and as fast as possible without extreme overclocking. Right then, that was it for today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe again if you haven't already. Also turn on notifications so you never miss one of my new videos. And yeah, as always, catch you guys on the next one. Bye bye.